In today's video, I will explain how to make camera shakes in Unity. First, make an empty game object and call it Shake Manager. Next, put the camera inside of it. Now, in order to avoid any glitches, make sure the Shake Manager position is 0, rotation is 0, and scale is 1. If you do that, then any decently written camera script shouldn't have any issues with the camera being a child object. Next, attach the Shake Manager script to the Shake Manager itself. As you can see, it's a very short script, but there's actually quite a lot to explain, so let's get right to it. First, we declare two private vectors. This one is for the starting position, and this one will be used to move the object when shaking. Then we declare three public floats, and I'll explain what these are later. Now, in the start function, we're just gonna type these two lines of code to avoid any unwanted glitches. In update, we first check if the duration is bigger than 0. That's the only time we want to shake the camera. So that's when we call the shake method, and we also want to decrease the duration with delta time so it can eventually reach 0 and the camera shake can stop. Once that happens, we use else and go back to the starting position. Now, the shake method itself is gonna work like this. If the transform position is equal to shake position, then shake position will be changed to start position plus a random variation based on the amount. Once the new shake position is generated, this condition is no longer true. So we use else and move the shake manager with vector 3 move towards. However, once the new shake position is reached, this condition will be true again. So a new random variation will be created, and it's gonna keep doing that over and over again until duration reaches 0. You may notice that I'm using the absolute value of speed. That's just in case you make the speed a negative number, because it won't work that way. So that's the entire script. Pause the video right here and type all this out. Now, you may think that this is the end of the video, but I also have to explain how to use this script properly. So first I want to demonstrate what amount does, just in case someone doesn't get it. Currently it's equal to 0.1. The more I increase it, the more distance the camera travels. So that's what amount does. It increases the travel distance of the shaking. Speed is self-explanatory. And as you can see, duration is indeed being decreased by time, so it can eventually reach 0 and the shaking can stop. But that's not the way you use this script, alright? You don't just assign numbers by hand. What you do is change these numbers through another script. That's why I made them public. So for example, here's this boss transformation object. And during the animation there's constant screen shake. So what I need to do is make this object change the values of the shake manager. So let's go inside the script of this object, and what do we find? We find this, another method called screen shake. First we declare a shake manager variable called SM, and it's equal to game object find shake manager. That's why you need to make sure that the shake manager is indeed called shake manager. Then we get the component. Then we change the numbers to what we want. Now, you may notice that the duration is only 0.05, but the screen shake is constant. That's because the method is being called over and over again by the transformation script until the transformation is over. So just remember, if you want a constant screen shake, don't assign a huge number to duration. Instead, just call the method over and over again until it's no longer needed. If we take a look at these platforms, screen shake is only called once when the player steps on them. So let me open up the script of the platform. Here you can see I'm checking if the player is on the platform. If stretched is false, I call the screen shake, but then I immediately make stretched equal to 2, so it only happens once. So what I'm trying to show with these examples is that you have to get creative with the scripts of the other objects inside your game, because after all, those are going to be the objects causing the screen shake in the first place, right? I also want to mention that these numbers shouldn't be very big. For example, in my game Balkadia, amount is usually between 0.1 and 0.3. Speed is usually between 1.5 and 5, and duration is usually between 0.05 and 0.25. Because otherwise the screen shake is going to be too strong. You don't want the screen shake to be too strong, guys. You want it to be nice and subtle. This is the last of my camera tutorials. Like I said, if you have a decent camera script of your own, it really shouldn't be an issue that the camera is a child object, but if you don't, then you should probably check out my entire camera tutorials playlist. Like, the entire playlist is just 5 videos, and well, you just watched the 5th one about screen shakes, so yeah, only 4 more videos to watch. If you found this video helpful and you want to show some support, please go ahead and check out Balkadia on Steam, which is still in development, but it now has a playable demo, so if you like it, you can wishlist Balkadia.